All right, what's up, everybody? What's up? What's up, everybody? What's going on? What's going on, everybody? What's going on? What's going on? Testing, testing. Hold on. What's going on, people? What's going on? What's going on? It's your man here, Mr. O here, once again, once again. I know I'm a little bit late to the game with this, late to the game, but it's some real interesting recent events that's been going on and everything. Um, I'm trying to start a little something. And Taurine Rain once again. Taurine, what's up? Thank you for this daily piece and the um, daily piece. And I know a lot of people probably not heard about it, like in the sports world. It's concerning, and it's kind of suspect, and it makes me upset. It's also the same thing. My brother Michael Sowell has also, fellow YouTuber I recently subscribed to, had also admonished too. Um, I don't want y'all to hear it from this. And this coming from the Daily News. Ex-wife of Giants kicker Josh Brown told police he had become physically violent with her more than 20 times, including while she was pregnant. Yeah, you're gonna see what the title of what this was. Well, I'm gonna go with this. Josh Brown ex-wife told police on the day of his 2015 arrest a year ago that the Giants kicker has been physically violent with her over 20 times and she has been previously had a protection order against her. And that the violence began while she was pregnant with their daughter back in 2009, according to an incident report obtained by the Daily News. That information was told to police May 22nd, 2015, when Josh Brown was arrested in Washington for a domestic violence assault, which is believed the reason. Excuse me. It's kind of humid here, which basically lead to a reason to believe why the kicker was suspended for one game by the NFL for violating the league's personal conduct policy. Hold on, wait a minute. A domestic violence assault, and he was arrested for it, and he's only suspended for one game. Oh boy, I'm gonna go with it like this. Now they didn't do this with Ray Rice, but let me continue. 5 days later, the state declined to file charges. Now, however, according to a Kings County court's clerk, Josh and Molly Brown have since divorced. Now, in reports and 9/11 tapes obtained by the news, it's revealed that the police responded to the Browns' house on 2 consecutive days. On a 9/11 call from the day before, Molly Brown said the kicker, quote unquote, genuinely got in my son's face, referring to her 16-year-old son, who was Brown's stepson. The second 9/11 call on May 22nd occurred after Molly Brown said he grabbed her wrist during an argument about finances. And she's saying, I got really scared and I just went and locked myself in my bedroom again, Brown's ex-wife said on the call. They came last night and they said if anything else happened, just to call back, and I don't want anything to get worse. Police then responded and determined that they had probable cause for domestic violence assault and arrested Brown. The kicker, who was sitting down when officers notified him he was being arrested, initially did not comply but stood up when officers lifted his arm, according to the report. Brown was arrested for fourth-degree assault and eventually released on May 23rd on a $2,000 bail, according to court documents. But the report detailed accusations that well surpassed the happenings of that day. Molly described in her statement the history of physical violence against her from her husband Joshua, the instant report read. Molly stated that Joshua had been physically violent to her on more than 20 different instances Over the past several years, she said that Joshua became violent after she became pregnant with their daughter. Wow. Now, in a in a in a Josh Brown, he was guilty of misdemeanor assault in 2001. This happened back in what, 2009? Wow. So in a lengthy and wide-ranging interview with a detective, an advocate, and a court official on May 28, 2016, that was also obtained by the Daily News, Molly Brown details several of these alleged instances of physical violent behavior by Josh Brown throughout much of their relationship. The first of those events, she said, came sometime in 2009, when Molly Brown said she was probably between 4 and 6 months pregnant. Molly Brown said the couple were fighting, and there was a box of mail that we had initially were arguing over. I took it, I threw it off the desk, and the papers were everywhere. And I remember grabbing my shoulders and just pushing me into the door. Now, at one point during the pregnancy, what Molly Brown said was accidental. She said Josh Brown accused her of being a quote unquote gold digger and accused her of getting pregnant on purpose. Brown also described other alleged domestic violence acts by Josh Brown in the incident report from that day of arrest. Molly also said that during a recent trip to Hawaii in April of this year, Joshua got angry in an argument with her and held up his fist like he was going to punch her. And I said, I want to knock you out so bad, the incident report reads. Molly further describes the incident that occurred in April of 2014, 2 years ago, saying that Joshua pushed into the large mirror into their bedroom. Ooh, whoa. And then threw her on the floor and jumped on top of her, holding her face down into the carpet. Molly said this incident caused her pain in her arm and elbow for several months. Yeah, if you're a woman, yeah, of course. Molly Brown also detailed an alleged incident between Brown and her son beyond the previous date. In February of this year, Molly said that Joshua got into an argument with her son and kicked in the bathroom door. Molly said the door flew open and hit her son in the arm. She also said that Joshua kicked the door so hard that it broke off the hinges and the hinges of the door and cracked a large portion of the door jamb. Molly added in her statement that back in 2013, she had a restraining order, which is a protection order, as they say, but that's still the same thing, restraining order, placed against Joshua. She said this order was later dropped because of the progress they have made in their relationship through the counseling. Now, in the May 28th interview, Molly Brown said it took her a long time before she could gather the courage to call the police and initially would call neighbors to try and calm her husband down. She also consulted friends, including former quarterback Matt Hasselbeck and his wife Sarah, and former Seahawks, Bears, and Titans center Chris Spencer and his wife Catherine. Eventually, Molly Brown said she started calling the police and estimated she had called police 10 times prior to that incident that prompted Josh Brown's arrest in 2015. Now, she estimated that Brown had said he was going to kill her 4 or 5 times, but added she initially didn't think he meant it because eventually, meant it, but eventually started to take him seriously. You better, Molly Brown said Josh Brown eventually started going to intensive therapy counseling for his abusive behavior. Let me stop right there. Let me hold right there. Intensive therapy counseling. They go to counseling for this. Now, if that had been like a black person and everything, and they had like these domestic violence charges, the police would have just went on ahead and arrested them, no question asked, blah, 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 this and that, This is why the title of my podcast is about white privileges and the delusional effects it has, particularly like with Josh Brown and another story pertaining to hashtag White Lives Matter. But I'm going to get to that later. Let's continue. Now, when asked Thursday about the incident that led to his arrest, now Brown said it was just a moment. And it was announced that Brown has been suspended by the NFL for one game, there you go again, on Wednesday last week. And when Brown spoke on Thursday, News had not yet broken about the rest of the allegations. Reason why they didn't break because you know why? The New York Giants knew all about this and they tried to cover it up. Yeah. So much for Big Blue. Wow. Now, on Thursday, Giants head coach Ben McAdoo, he came under scrutiny, giving comments that he had previously made indicating that he was intolerant of domestic violence. Now, the coach was asking a published report shortly after his hire early this year that he did not tolerate from his team, and he responded with an answer about domestic violence. Though McAdoo said he did not know of Brown's arrest at the time of his comments, he said it did not change his stance. However, the team was aware of Brown's May 2015 arrest when it re-signed him to, get this y'all, a 2-year, $4 million deal with $1 million guaranteed in April. But yet though, Ray Rice is still out there looking for work in the NFL. They're not even trying to give his brother a chance. You know, Brown said he informed the team immediately about the arrest. However, McAdoo said that he only found out after becoming head coach. Oh man, McAdoo deflected when he was asked whether the arrested impact of the team's decision to sign the kicker. And he said that's a better question for Jerry Reese. I'm assuming that's probably the owner of the team or whatever. Okay, so McAdoo also spoke earlier today before the accusations of prior physical abuse had broken into. It's unclear if the head coach knew about the extent of the allegations at the time. Brown said he didn't believe the arrest or possible discipline affect his negotiating with the team. There was no mention about McAdoo on Thursday of any consideration of cutting Brown. Now, we support the league office in their decision and their stance on personal conduct. McAdoo said, I do support Josh as a man, a father, and a player. We treat these situations on a case-by-case basis. Now, when McAdoo was asked if the team conducted his own investigations into that matter, McAdoo said, I stay in my lane. I don't have any information on that. Yeah, but y'all covered it up. You the head coach. You mean to tell me you don't have no knowledge of this? I don't care, even after he was hired. You have to have a sliver of knowledge. Anyway, given that he said the team treats each case on an individual basis, what was it about the situation that made the coach want to welcome Brown back to the team with open arms after he served the 1-game suspension? You know, he said that's something that's private and I'm not willing to discuss publicly. All right. Let me jump in on this real quick right now. I smell bullshit. If she called the police 20 times on the domestic violence case on this, but the thing is, you know, like I said, I don't condone domestic violence in that to no level. Let me set the record straight and let me make that pretty clear. I have a very strict policy about, you know, men getting out here putting their hands on women. Now, for the record, we're not there. I wasn't there. None of us weren't there. We don't know what was going on or how this really jumped off. You know, we just going by from the reports and stuff like that. But at the same time, as a man, and I'm not really calling Josh Brown a man because to me, a real man don't get out there and put his hands on a woman unless provoked, and then that's self-defense. That's a whole different story. But in this case, you got anger issues, which what I'm seeing it is, he should just walk away and go cool down. And you get in your stepson's face, or shoot, probably the stepson was his son. The son was probably trying to defend his mom. You know, you're not his real dad. But here's the thing that bothers me about this from his professional standpoint. This motherfucker only gets like a 1-game suspension. Okay? And this was domestic violence. Now, Ray Rice had the same issue too with his wife, Janae. And they went all in. They went all in on Ray Rice. Not to mention with help from Ray Lewis, coon ass. It's just ridiculous. Now, I've also came across some recent reports, too, pertaining to Josh Brown, that they had replaced him, the Giants had replaced him with a kicker They signed from the Jets. And I got a problem with the Giants because the Giants knew about this whole thing and they covered it up. Now to the so-called white trolls that like to troll my account and like to troll Taurine Rain account and Mr. Griffin, and Mr. Superboy 223, Kimberly Frazier, Ray Rivera, Knowledge Speak Truth, Liz, the live one, Michael Sowell. Um, I don't hear nothing from y'all. Yeah, y'all pretty quiet right now. I know y'all gonna come with some lame excuse. And you know who else is quiet too? That bitch Michelle Beadle. All these women rights activists. They real quiet. Where y'all at? Y'all real quiet now. All of a sudden, nowhere to be found. Mission in action. And I ain't talking Chuck Norris either. Yeah, where's all they at? Back to the white supremacists, y'all saying like that. You want to get out here, you want to call young black men, thugs. Y'all went on ahead around that same time and was calling my main man, Richard Sherman, a thug with his little post game interview with Aaron Andrews after they beat the 49ers in the NFC Championship game that year. When he went and he was at the heat of the moment, it was entertainment at the best. When he said, "Well, I'm the best cornerback there is. When you try me with a sorry receiver like Crabtree, that's exactly what you're gonna get." Next thing you know, Twitter lit up, calling him a thug, calling him a monkey, calling him a gorilla, calling him a nigger, this and that, blah, blah, blah. Y'all getting old with that tired shit. But my man was too headstrong on top of that. But see, this is where white privilege comes in at. Because I'm going to jump on another story in an instant minute that was also brought up to my attention. Taurine, thanks a lot, man. Thanks a lot for this. Yeah, so like with Josh Brown, as far as I'm concerned, and I recently seen a certain players from the New York Giants, sticking up. I'm not finna mention no names because I know a few of them. They're sticking up for Josh Brown. Now, once again, we don't know how his temperament is behind the closed door, but I don't put nothing past him because when it comes down to these white thugs, man, I flame their ass every chance I get. Because see, you want the white supremacists, you want to get out here and suspected white supremacists, you want to call us as being thugs and being hoodlums, saying that black people account for so and so this number of crimes, when it's true. Through FBI statistics, all you got to do is go to FBI.gov and look at 2014 crime statistics that white people commit, mostly like 60% of the population, but 83% of the crimes that are committed in this country, domestic violence included, are by white people, particularly white men. Now I'm not saying black men aren't immune to it, but that's what happens when you caught up in systematic white supremacy. But see, Josh Brown got a little privilege. 1 game suspension. That's the best you can do, Roger Goodell. And I hope you listening in on this because I swear that's a bunch of bullshit if I ever heard one in myself. Because right now my bullshit meter is on an all-time high. But I'm going to jump back on that in a minute. Right now, another article that got my attention, that's really got my attention, really, and this shit was crazy, and it was coming right out of one of my favorite cities, Houston, Texas. What's up, Phil? The Fire Show. And it concerns this is a White Lives Matter. Yes, it was a White Lives Matter protest that went down in Houston. Actually today, it's my boy birthday though, so it's my homeboy birthday. A White Lives Matter rally held in Houston, and guess where it was held at? It was held in Houston, historically black 3rd Ward. If you've been out in Houston, and everybody know about the 3rd Ward, everybody know about 5th Ward, the Ghetto Boys I'm a big Ghetto Boy fan. They made it famous. Let me just read the article to you, and I'm gonna come back with my narrative. Because I wanted to jump on this. Tory Rain, thanks again, brother. On August 22nd, a White Lives Matter rally was held in Houston's Third Ward, located, and this is where they did it, right in front of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People's office. I think it was abandoned. I'm not exactly sure. The rally included a crowd about 20. Some waved Confederate flags, no surprise. Some of the participants carried assault rifles, this is in Texas, open carry state, and wore bulletproof vests. Okay, you got a bunch of peckerwoods. You're going down there to protest saying White Lives Matter, and you waving a Confederate flag, particularly Confederate flags from other states. I'm seeing in the picture from the state of Mississippi, all that shit. And then you carrying an assault rifle, and then you wearing bulletproof vests. Y'all wasn't there to do no peaceful protest. They were there to start some trouble. They were trying to start some shit. That's what that shit was. One woman carried a sign, and I seen this said they read 14 words. 14 words referring to the white supremacist slogan. We must secure the existence of our people and a future for white children. Okay, this is not a white lives matter. Firstly, I call bullshit on that. White lives matter. No, this is AKA a covert KKK rally. Period. Now, Scott Lacey, who happens to be a White Lives Matter member, told KPRC TV, that's a local news station down there in Houston, protest because the NAACP headquarters is here, and that's one of the most racist groups in America. Wow, really? You really want to do that there, bro? Okay. Another protester, Ken Reed, explained to the Houston Chronicle that they're also against the NAACP for their failure to hold the members of the Black Lives Matter movement accountable for their actions. See, this is where the ignorance comes in at. See, Black Lives Matter is not an organization. That's a hashtag. Let's keep going. Now, he's wearing a Drumpf 16 hat. Reed stated their organizations and their people are shooting people based on the color of their skin. We're not. Okay, show me a documentation. Show me some recent facts about BLM rally where Black Lives Matter protesters are shooting people. And show me where they say they're racist at. Because last time I checked, every time I look at these Black Lives Matter rallies, it be white people there too. So what the fuck is they talking about? Let's go. Okay, Reed was more likely referring to the recent Dallas and Baton Rouge killing of police officers. However, the attacks were carried out by black nationalist gunmen. See, here they go, trying to control the narrative. Say black nationalist gunmen. First of all, Micah Johnson and Gavin Reed were not black nationalists. They weren't part of a black empowerment movement or the conscious movement or none of that. They had no, who had no affiliation to the NAACP and Black Lives Matter movement. The two organizations denounced the attacks shortly after. Exactly. Now, they being in a historically black neighborhood, the rally quickly drew attention, and it was met with counter-protests. The White Lives Matter rally was soon outnumbered by upset locals. Yeah. Some of the people verbally responded while others just looked on in disgust, but no one was hurt between the two protests. While there's nothing wrong, I don't have nothing wrong speaking your mind and standing up for your beliefs. One should basically, you should completely think through what they're protesting. And this is a tweet like from Crystal Johnson. She said white supremacists rally at Houston NAACP for White Lives Matter with Confederate flags. Yeah. That's nothing but an undercover Klan rally. You're out there with bulletproof vests and all that bullshit. Probably pulled the trailer parks up, the trailers up there too. I understand they believe Black Lives Matter should be held accountable if what they do is against the law and harms people in the process. However, The NAACP's purpose is to ensure the political, educational, social, economic equality of rights of all persons and eliminate the racial hatred and eliminate racial discrimination. I'm sorry, people. While the purpose of the Black Lives Matter movement is to campaign against violence and systematic racism toward black people. Even though the two organizations are tied to the black race, the NAACP mainly deals with the legality of it all, while BLM is a social movement. And, this is another tweet from Sean King. He said, heavily armed white supremacists standing outside of the Houston offices of the NAACP. This is America 2016. In fact, if Lacey and Reed wanted NAACP to denounce BML, even though they didn't need to for racist behavior, it would mean that the organization would definitely have to do the same with the white supremacist White Lives Matter group. While BML focus is on black America's peace of mind in regards to police brutality, they aren't devaluing other races. Instead of dismissing the issues of plaguing black America by chanting all lives matter, White Lives Matter is dismissing black America as a whole. Yes, Black Lives Matter needs to work on a few things in order to be successful as the NAACP, and violence as a whole need to cease. But waving Confederate flags and rifles is not the way to voice this. In fact, their actions shed light on why we won't change in the first place. Okay. Again. Well, this is America 2016, people. And once again, white privilege has reared its ugly head. White Lives Matter, first of all, number one, ain't nothing but a bunch of goddamn big-gutted, lazy-ass, racist motherfuckers who just troll black people accounts and everything, and they do something like this. Why would you even want to come in front of it? In fact, that NAACP building, that's abandoned, number one. And then two, you coming out here, you wielding assault, right? You already armed, and then you got tactical gear, tactical vest on there. It's just like what Professor Black Truth said. These guys love to play dress up and carrying assault rifles and all this so-called assault rifles and stuff like that. And they want to be an army and all that, thinking that they're tough. They were there to stir some shit up, start some shit, and then you waving the Confederate flags and all that stuff. Now, I know it's going to be a few idiotic trolls that talk about saying, well, that flag don't represent no hate. It represents Southern heritage. Kiss my ass. That flag has nothing but is drenched in hate. The motherfucker who created the son of a bitch, let me look him up for you, because I'm saying like that. If you don't believe me, do your research. Do your motherfucking research. And that's the problem. People don't do their research. They don't do their research on that. Because why would you even come in a historically black neighborhood, and you're trying to provoke a so-called race war? That's what the fuck you need. That's what it is. That's so-called race war. That's what he's trying to do. Now, if you want to know about the person who created that flag, the man's name is William T. Thompson. Okay, I'm gonna give y'all a little history lesson, white people, just to let you know. And he said it out his own damn mouth. He said, as a people, we are fighting to maintain the heaven-ordained supremacy, keyword people, because keyword supremacy of the white man over the inferior or colored race. A white flag would thus be emblematical of our cause. Upon a red field would stand forth our Southern Cross, gemmed, preserving in beautiful contrast the red, white, and blue. This was from William T. Thompson. He said this himself, April 23rd, 1863. So tell me something, people. All y'all jokers, all you rednecks, all you idiotic, ignorant crackers, you're flying this damn Confederate flag and all this other stuff. Where's the Southern heritage and Southern pride in that? Let me give you a reality check. There is none. Just like last year, you got all upset and everything, when the state of South Carolina had took down the Confederate flag from the state capitol. And even, let me bring it closer to home, when Jeb Bush was governor here in Florida, you know, he said it himself. That flag belongs in the museum. If people want to see it, they can go see it there. It belongs in the museum. It don't belong on no federal buildings or no schools or no institutions like that. As far as I'm concerned, if the motherfuckers want to go ahead and fly that shit from their trucks and all that, let them go ahead and do that. But I'm gonna tell you like that. Don't come around my front yard with it or try to burn across my neighborhood, because I'm gonna tell you one thing: you will be met with lethal force, straight up. You know. So that's your little history lesson right there to all you white supremacists and you suspected white supremacists like that. Because why would you even go there and do that? But I see this is where white privilege comes in at. You know what I'm saying? You don't see the Black Panther Party holding a rally or in front of a Trump rally, aka Klan rally. Now do you? So see, I don't even know where it get going at. But see, this is what white privilege and the delusional effects it has. Just ask your boy Slim Shady. I'm sorry, not Slim Shady. Ryan Lockett, what they call him in the New York Post, Ryan Loch Ness Monster. How he lied about being robbed at gunpoint. And then the worst part about it, and Kimberly Frazier had brought this to my attention too. The motherfucker stuck by the lie too, but at the same time, you same trolls went on the attack on Gabby Douglas because she didn't put her hand over her heart at the Olympics when they say the Pledge of Allegiance. Hell, a lot of us didn't do that shit. I didn't do it when I was in school. Shoot. Or what about those three white boy wrestlers that wrestled at the Olympics when the Pledge of Allegiance was going on? They didn't put their hand over their heart. Oh, but see, once again, that's white privilege coming in at. That's white privilege coming in at. White privilege is what's benefited Peyton Manning. White privilege is what benefited Tom Brady. White privilege is what benefit Josh Brown. And then these idiots. But see, Ryan Lockett, he's already receiving some severe punishment. It's costing him his pockets. Because as of right now, currently, Speedo US of A had dropped him. As well as 4 other companies done dropped Ryan Lockett. And that's good. See, this is how, I'm speaking to my people now. This is how you want to go ahead and battle these fools. They may have us outnumbered, but they sure as hell don't have us outclassed. Because if anybody been watching the Olympics, and I only saw moments of it like that, let me tell you something. The queens are kicking ass in there. They kicking major ass. But these same white supremacists were the ones who trolled and ridiculed LeBron James because LeBron James gave props to them sisters for doing their thing. I read one where one father said, well, my son used to look up to LeBron James, wanted to be like LeBron James. But after that, I'm not looking up to him no more. Da-da-da. Now, I've had my little so-and-so sayings with LeBron James, but one thing that LeBron was consistent on, he loved his people. And he used this platform in order to do it. I have no issue with that. With LeBron James and Dwayne Wade and Derrick Rose and Carmelo Anthony. They keeping it real. And I love it. See, the thing is about with you white people, y'all want us to go ahead and conform and convert to your standards, to your thing like that. But see, once we start gaining knowledge of self and we start making historical strides and self-love and we start doing for self, it's a problem with y'all. You get in here on social media, for example, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Twitter, whether it's YouTube, whether it's Google Plus, Periscope, whatever. And you know, you want to get in here and you troll our accounts to try to see what we talking about. Just like when it came down to when brothers and sisters start taking their money out of these white owned financial institutions and start going ahead and putting it in the black owned banks. Oh, now y'all saying, oh, well, they just black owned banks are being racist. Since when you ever heard that? You could come down there too and open up an account at a black owned bank or One United Bank or Citizens Trust Bank if you want. We open the doors for everybody. But just know the fact that this bank happens to be owned by blacks. The thing is like this, we scared them. See, and they try to use all this stuff. Now I'm also expecting the coon, they pet coons and they Sambo and they watermelon eating, buck dancing, sharp shoeing Sambos to come out there and defend them too. But sorry, this is one brother here. I'm not going to be getting out here and soft shoe cooing like Roland Martin was with Hillary Clinton showing her how to do the wobble, saying that all black folks now do the wobble. Roland Martin, you my boy. I love you dearly, but I got to call you out on this one, bro. That was some bullshit. Not all black people don't know how to wobble. Just to let you know that. Let's give you a little reality check. Because with this election coming up, everybody's focusing on this election, another reason with white privilege on top of that. You know, Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton. You got a case, oh boy, I'll tell you. I don't even want to get into this though, but I'm just going to make it brief. When it comes to that, to my people, like, look, don't concern yourself with the presidential election. Because it's all hogwash. Nothing but skullduggery. Concern yourself with the local elections. Get to know your local commissioners. Get to know the judges. Get to know the police chiefs, the mayors, the governors. They're the ones that's going to matter. They're the ones who basically make shit that'll impact you directly. Concern yourself with those. Concern yourself with so-called ordinances, aka rules and regulations like that. You know, study constitutional law. I've always said that. That Article 6, Paragraph 2 states the Constitution is the supreme law of the land. That's true. But at the same time, when it comes to voting, focus on the, brain freeze here, on local elections. Fuck Trump, fuck Hillary. Neither one of them don't have our best interests at heart. Because whether you look at it, we all being played when it comes down to it. That people ask me about what I think about who I'm voting for, I don't even argue with them no more. Don't even engage in them. Just like with these trolls. And Professor Black Truth made a very valid point. When it comes down to them, if you see them trolling your account or in there making stupid remarks, don't even engage with them. Don't even argue with them. Just go ahead and just block them and keep it moving. Because I'm saying to anybody that's any of the trolls that lurking on my channel, that's lurking on this podcast, do yourself a favor right motherfucking now and unsubscribe. That way I won't have to I'll save you the embarrassment of blocking your dumb ass. I mean, for real. You know. But this is what white privilege does. Because, like, you look at Ray Rice's situation, not one NFL team has a call, but yet, though, they letting this woman beater, Josh Brown, off with a one-game suspension, and then the New York Giants cover it up. That just goes to show you the morality of that and integrity of that ball club. And I like watching NFL. I like watching football. Anybody that knows me, that my favorite team is the Chicago Bears. And I'm gonna tell you something. But as an NFL fan, I don't think I'm not gonna spend any money with the NFL whatsoever. Black people don't need to spend your money with the NFL because this is a double standard. Look at the shit that they put Ray Rice through. Look at the shit that they put Michael Vick through. Although in some cases on that was stupid, but still the fact of the matter is they went after Vick after he got during that time with the Atlanta Falcons after he got that $130-something million contract. And it's the same thing. It's a double standard when it comes down to the black athletes. And it pisses me off. It's disgusting. It's arrogant. Just like with Tom Brady. Came to that Deflategate shit. You know, again, white privilege. They prop this motherfucker up on a damn pedestal. You know, golden boy. He's American made. Blah blah blah. Good looking. Doing this. Da 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 da. You know, same thing they did with Peyton Manning when that shit came out about his time at the University of Tennessee. How he put his genitals all on this poor lady, and they, you know, stalked her and ruined her life. And then he tried to turn him and his father, his racist father, Archie Manning, how they turned around here and tried to blame the shit on black athletes, especially Archie Manning. Now, I won't put nothing past Tom Brady either. I think Brady got a little bit deep down. He racist his damn self, as well as Belichick. Case, you know, not just racist, they just not used to being around a lot of black people. That's what it is. And I don't know how you can say that when the majority of the players in the NFL happen to be black. NBA, 85% of the players happen to be black. So, you know, if it weren't for that, if it weren't for those black players, Tom Brady wouldn't have the Super Bowl rings. Well, if it weren't for that and the fact that the New England Patriots always cheat all the time during their Super Bowl runs, that there too. I know I'm gonna get it when it comes down to it, but I really don't care because I'm not a Patriot fan and I don't respect that he got a 1-game suspension and the Giants tried to cover this shit up. That's not cool. That's what I don't like. And to the White Lives Matter, man, you guys go fuck off somewhere. Because the next time some shit like that happen, man, shit may just jump off and you may not even be ready for it. Because when the deal goes down, you're going to be the ones who put your tail between your legs, well, what's reminiscent of it, and start hauling ass. Thinking that you could go into a historically black neighborhood and protest, waving Confederate flags, got tactical gear on, and got firearms. You're not going there to protest that White Lives Matter. No, you're going there to try to stir some shit up, to try to agitate people. Well, thankfully, you know, like I said, that my people didn't take up on your little offer, and they were smarter than that. Now they could probably just go ahead and pack everything on their little trailers and go back to the trailer park where the hell they belong. You know, but that's white privilege for you. You know, if the Panthers would have did something like that, well, it would have been good at Texas because Texas is an open carry state, just like Michigan, Ohio, Louisiana, and parts of Georgia. You know, you'd have had, but the Black Panther Party would have been doing that. You'd have had police presence out there and riot gear and all that. That's the thing. But before I sign off on here tonight, first thing I want to give a shout out love to Taurine Rain, Irv Griffin, the Superboy 223, Kimberly Frazier, Ray Rivera, my boy Michael Sowell. I want to give a shout out and praise to Samsung Knights. Boy, y'all represented this weekend. Boy, the Galaxy Note 7 off is popping. It's on point. And give a shout out to Kai's Kitchen 305 if you're ever in the South Florida area. You know what I'm saying? You want more bang for your butt, a good Caribbean cuisine. My boy Joe, he cooks it up. He does it up nice. He does it up sweet. You know, got to support the black businesses. If you're looking for a black bank to bank with down here, we got One United Bank, 3275 Northwest 79th Street. That's right in Miami. And, you know, to try to continue this bank black movement, people, to try to go ahead, you know, bank black movement, build their economic power base so we can get things going. So like that, you know, create businesses, create jobs, to keep the black dollar circulating in our neighborhoods. Before I go ahead, I'm going to sign off on that, though. But this your man here. This your main man. King, I know you're listening. Yak, I know you're listening. So before I sign off, this your main man, Mr. O, signing off. One love, peace. Stay black, stay proud. One.